I should know. After 30 days, I should know to have this raised up by now. Okay, I see my hands. Hey, y'all. Okay, we did 30 days. Here we are. Yay. So I thought today I would go through my books a little bit and kind of look at what I did. I know part of what I did, I'm going to start here because you guys know I love some jelly plate printing, or maybe you don't. Anyway, I love some jelly plate printing. And I did take some time to do that. So I'm going to throw these in here as well. But yeah, so when I started this challenge, primarily what I wanted to do was get back into the habit of spending some time in my art journal because while I really, really rely on my art journal for creative type stuff to um, really stay focused uh, on my creativity, to make sure to kind of prevent those creative blocks. I sometimes get creative blocks around my journal because I overthink it. And journals technically are a place where I can um, just play with different ideas and techniques, even things like copying work to try out techniques. I know that a lot of times in art schools still take you to the museums and have you sit in front of a painting and copy a style, and you get to see how other artists do what they do, and kind of put yourself in their shoes. And so sometimes that's a way to play here without having to worry about making art that infringes on anything, because this really is just for you. But I share what I do online just because um I want people to understand that it's not uh, something to be intimidated by. It can be just whatever it needs to be. So anyway, I've been working in 5 journals for the last month. Actually 6, because last night I did pick up this little one, and I'll share with you about that one too. And actually, maybe I'll start there because this one's really quick. The I dug this out when I was going through cleaning up my studio, and it's this little moleskin that I love. I love this type of book, except for the paper's kind of lousy, to be perfectly honest. Um, but that's okay. I mean, I'm not doing anything like super fancy. And I started to do this little book of faces, and I thought that this was a great little study of just playing with faces. And here's where I did some color swatching, trying to think up some ideas. I think with this book originally, I was trying to play with what colors would go with what, um, and then it just kind of turned into this. So, and I kind of love it. I mean, this is at a point when I was playing with uh, making small eyes, but I generally kind of tend to make the eyes really big. Um, so anyway, I want to continue to do this, and this would be the perfect size and the perfect format to like go to a coffee shop and people watch and just sketch some faces. Anyway, so this is fun. This is going to go in my travel case, and I pulled this together, and I did find this. I was using last night. I used these Stabilo big woody crayons. This really creamy water soluble crayons. And I love using those with a water pen. So I've got my pens and my water pens and my brushes also in here. And then I found this last night, and I wanted to play with some gouache. So I'll probably take these half pans and fill it with some, gouache colors that I want to play with, and use that in here. So this all fits together. I also have a rag for the paint part. And this is ready to go to the coffee shop. So anyway, I like having little travel cases. This, I spent one evening, a Saturday night, it was a 2-hour live cast, and I just made some jelly plate prints on the back of this is a scrap piece, but I keep those because sometimes is exactly what I need to put in my book. These are pages from the text blocks that I tear apart when I make my books. Here's an art journal where I have taken the text block out and have bound some better paper, some good, I think this is my mixed media paper. So I'll probably, I still have to attach that to the binding, to the cover, but there's another journal for me to have. So yeah, so I did a series of jelly plate prints, and that's always wonderful when I start to run low on collage papers. Then it's great to go back and just do some jelly plate prints for later. Anyway, so I've got that, and then I did some working in my book. Oh, these are all. I always hold on to these waste papers. I mean, this is to clean my pens and get pull the ink off of my roller. And especially like when you're using the paint pens, the Posca markers and stuff, it's always good to prime it on a separate piece because a lot of times it'll just like spew all over the paper. So I have all my scratch papers, but I'll eventually use those. And then I have pages that I actually cut out of my journal because when I do 3D bits, kind of like, well, even as I add stuff, but if I add something like an envelope with a card in it or a paper loom, and even just pasting down a lot of pages, it makes the book really thick. So sometimes I'll go back through and cut these pages out, and then I can use this for later. I can use it for jelly plates, or if I need to build out a flap or an envelope, then I can do that out of the paper. So I hold on to that. All right, so this book I've been working on for a really long time. Here's another one of my jelly plate pages. I think I've decided that this matched here somehow, and I'll eventually put that in there. But I don't know that I did very much in this one, if at all. I might have pasted. Nope. Oh, I think I did do some washi tape. The days when I am not feeling particularly creative, but really feel like I need to be in my book, then sometimes it's just putting washi tape down on pages. So that's this book. This one I've been using for a really long time as well. And let's see what I worked on in here. The front part of it is all pretty old that I haven't, these pages in the front are pretty done. Yeah, these are all old here. See, this is me trying a different style. I took a class, a painting class, and when she did like florals in art journals, and it was specific to this. So, and this was great. I love this. This was fun. It totally is not my style overall, but there are bits of it that I really like, and I've used in my book. And then things like, you'll see this pattern a lot in my books. You'll see lines and dots a lot in my books, but for the most part, but it was fun. It was fun to explore a different style. Anyway, so I did this. This is me playing with a dip pen, And I love the line. I definitely want to continue to play with dip pens. I've got so I have several of these that I had these holders that I've had for years. And when I was at the thrift store last week, I was able to pick up some more holders. So, and that's with hopes of doing more dip pen stuff because I really love working with it and I love the line, the scratchy line quality. It just was a lot of fun. This paint is this ink is actually liquid acrylic, which I think does really well in the dip pen. So definitely going to be playing more with that. Let's see what else. Oh, this is using my Pentel brush pen. I think it's in here. And I love this brush pen. And I've been playing with it more and more because it kind of forces me. Oh, you know what? This was a different brush pen that I didn't like as much, but this is the brush pen that I love. And I definitely feel like I want to play with this more because it forces me to have a more confident line. A lot of times when I draw with a regular pen, I do the sketchy thing, and I can't really do that with the brush pen. I'm kind of forced to have a more confident line, and I feel like the control that I have over the line width is really cool. So I'm definitely playing with this more. Let's see what else. Oh, yes. This is me sketching out some ideas for a pinafore that I want to add to my capsule wardrobe, which I'm trying to build this year. And that's just a body of work that I want to do using some hand woven. And so this is my thinking through some of those ideas. And this is another great way that I like to use my sketchbook is to really flesh out ideas. And I find it interesting doing it over, collage bits that I've done. Because I think here you can see I did that here coming up with ideas for bowls. And sometimes it kind of lends itself to fabric treatment or surface design for ceramics, just stuff like that. So this is me playing with that. Let's see if there's anything else. There's a patch series that I was working on, but I think I did this before I was doing my art journal challenge. These are pages that I pre-prepped. This one I did online as well. This is a dip tip pen. And I kind of love where it globbed here. And I think what I might do is go back in at some point with my white pen, especially on these very dark areas, with my gel pen, and just add some little bits. Just some little details, because that's how I roll. So yeah. So this, I don't think this page is done by any stretch of the imagination, but it's definitely something I'm playing with. So anyway, again, these are all pages where I've had other jelly plate printing sessions that I just one night spent, or a couple of nights would spend just pasting them down and preparing some pages for later. And this is one of the spreads I wanted to do. And I had made this envelope out of a little tool that I found at the thrift store for making envelopes. And this was to hold some business cards. But the event I went to, I didn't collect any business cards because I just wasn't well. And this is one day I spent time preparing a page and putting photos in of one of my current pieces that's on the loom. And this is where I will keep notes of that project. So that's another way that I use my journal. I think that's and then I prepared these fold-out pages for future me to play with. So this is a fun way to just add some interest. I like having interactive bits in your book. So anyway, so that's that book in progress. This is one of my favorite books. This is a journal that I made from a book I found at the thrift store. And of course, it's got glitter everything has glitter all over it because I had some glitter ink that just exploded. So my surface, I don't think you guys can see it, but it's real sparkly. Anyway, so yeah, this was a washi tape day, but I don't know that this was a washi tape day online. On this, I think I did some of this. The dots, maybe? I don't remember. I think I did that early on, adding little details to a paint swash that I did. So I spent a little time cleaning it up, and I added the dragonflies. And I don't think this is done, but I'm going to play with some more ideas or adding some more things to it. Probably, maybe with the dip pen, adding some like patterny type doodly stuff in the background just to fill that out. Oh, this is where I was showing you guys the power of a simple mark making. So if you feel like you can't draw, then think in terms of mark making. I mean, technically, that's what this is, right? Just mark making, adding marks to a big mark, and then it becomes a thing. This is adding a three-dimensional element, little envelope, because I definitely have had the urge to actually do written journal pages, and I like doing them as letters to myself. So adding a 3D element, playing with new shimmery inks and fountain pens. I've reignited my love for fountain pens, so I dug out all my old fountain pens and have been looking at inks and ink samples. I think I added some of that washi tape there. Washi tape day. Some days, like I said, are just washi tape days. Oh, I did this little spread. Playing with some. This was me playing with a couple of pens. I know that this was that Pentel brush pen, and then I think the smaller lines was just a Sharpie. A Sharpie marker, and then paint pens, a little collage. So I don't think this one's done, but it's getting there. Oh, this piece where I did the brush work on it first, and it seemed kind of flat. So last week I went in playing with my gouache, and I really love gouache because it performs like watercolor as far as how it goes down and how you can mix it, and it's water soluble, but it's opaque. Whereas watercolor tends to be real transparent, gouache tends to be matte finish and opaque. So I definitely, we had to use gouache when I was in art school. And I hated using it there because we weren't using it in this like fun painterly fashion. We were having to paint color chips for a color wheel, and it just, gouache tends to absorb oils from your fingers, and getting it to be like a solid matte color is just so difficult. So it was driving me nuts. But so I've stayed away from it for years because of that, but picking it back up. I think this is almost done. I think there's a little refining I want to do. I'm on the fence about what to do about the little white body, but we'll see. Anyway, I think I added this and threw in some interactive pieces for the envelope. Oh, this piece where I was playing with the watercolor dots and observing how the paint reacts when it kisses when I use a lot of water on there. And then filling in with doodles. And I think I'm not done with this yet. I want it to be just full of the doodles in the negative space, and then the dots become this place of calm. Because every time I would go to put something on top of the dots, I didn't want to do it. I just like it the way it is. So whereas the negative space then almost becomes the positive space, and the positive space almost becomes the negative space. So anyway, this is a fun page spread to play with. I think that's it for this book. I've still got lots of pages to go on that one. And this book, let's see. This one is another one I've been working on for years. So most of the stuff in the front is already, done. Oh, I did this. This was a face that I had sketched out a long time ago and just hadn't finished. And so I took that Pentel brush pen and was playing with doing faces with that brush pen. So I just went over what I'd already traced and filled it in. And I don't know if it's done. I think it might not be. I might go back in with some color, but I'm not 100% sure. I think I would probably do some in the background, and then again, like I did with the other face, and leave her face actually untouched and let the jelly plate print show through on that. So we'll play with that and see what I do. These are all old spreads. Oh, I worked on this. I finally sewed this little loom in and backed it and put this envelope here. And then this is, I like this color a lot, but I didn't want to do too much over it because I wanted it to show through. But this is correction tape that I put down, which is really fun to put down to write words on. It's a really neat way to get words on a dark surface. So this is still a page in progress, but it's getting there. Well, that's Oop. Oh wait, I think I built these out during that when I was doing 3D. This is me playing with some new inks. Yay. And my pens. And here's another page that I built out. Another three-dimensional page for my future self. And then the last book. This is this one I started in 2022 at Taos. This was the type of book I was giving everybody. So here I was playing with the dip pen on top of the jelly plate printing. And I really like just how uneven those lines are. So I'm excited to play with that a little more. See pages I prepared for myself. This is another spread I worked on. I just picked this jelly plate spread and started playing with my faces again, but using animals like the fish and the cat. And I like the thing I had been doing in the past was putting like big human eyes on these animals, and it feels like it gives them personality. So what did I put in? Oh, this is a card for me to journal. So I don't think this spread is done. I definitely want to go back and add some more details around the drawing part. Probably there's room for more collage-y type stuff. This I fixed the tip in on this. I made myself some new little corners, and then I took this card that I had stuck in here. It's a library card, and added some stuff to it. So it's almost like a little art piece in itself, just framed up in my art journal. So still working on that. Oh wait, did I do some jelly plate printing over that? Oh, this was me playing with stencils. This was a failed day. I had microphone fail at the same day, and then this it started. I tried to do stencils and it got all globby, but now looking back on it, I kind of like the globby, but in the moment it was not working for me. So I'm excited to go back to the spread too. Whoop, 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 whoop. This is that's one of the pages that I Jelly Play printed recently. Adding more faces to this face page. This is me starting to get back into the faces, and then it spurred me to find that other smaller journal. And just playing with some ink. It bled like crazy though. That's a little disappointing, but that's okay. It is what it is. Oh, is there more? Nope, I think that's it. So that's it. That's what I did for 30 days, and it was fun, and I really enjoyed interacting with you guys. And I I'm feel good about having my practice, my art journal practice back, and I'll continue to share what I do, especially in relationship to my fiber art. I know that sometimes it seems like a disconnect, my art journal and my fiber art, but if you go back and watch the videos, I talk a lot about how it informs what I do. So anyway, thanks for joining me for the last 30 days, and just keep watching. I'll still be going live, but not every day, and maybe not art journaling. I mean, I'll probably continue to share with me my art journal, but all of this is mainly to help me with my regular art. So I'll just share with you that part of that process. Anyway, so keep on journaling, and I will talk to you guys later.